Most people who call me who inquire about moving to Orlando want the same thing. They want to be near Disney. They want the lifestyle. They want the sunshine. They want the access. They want that feel of a permanent vacation. And moving to Orlando in 2026 isn't about finding the cheapest place to live. It's about finding what's best for you. And we're going to go through some of those things today, some of those reasons and some of those areas that might be attractive to you. Everybody knows it's not 2020 anymore. People are still moving to Florida though. They're moving for different reasons than they did in 2020, right? It's not because of low rates, it's not maybe because of working remote. And we're gonna go through some of those reasons that Florida and Orlando are still so attractive for people relocating. So let's start with the big picture. Approximately 73,000 people a month are moving to Florida. That's almost 1 million people a year. Now, granted, that doesn't include or factor in some of the attrition numbers. Maybe somebody's moving out of Florida. We have people having babies, and unfortunately, of course, we have an age population, so some people may pass away as well. But just to give you an idea of how attractive Florida still is to so many people. Let's talk a little bit more about Orlando specific though. Tourism is huge for us, right? Millions and millions of people come through Orlando, fall in love with it, and have the best time. But why do people choose to stay or move here? It's more the local economy, the opportunity to start a small business, the lack of an income tax for state level. Also higher education. We've been ranked #1 at 9 years in a row in higher education with our public university system. I have clients who've moved here simply for the reason that they want their children to be able to attend our university system. So what makes our higher education system so attractive? So let's talk about the numbers a little bit, right? Credit hours. How much does it cost per credit hours? We know if we have children that are of that college age, university age, that our credit hour can be very expensive. Here in Florida, it's really friendly for residents. You could have a credit hour as low as $300 or less for your university, where an out-of-state student may pay over $1,000, right? We also have our Bright Future scholarships for some of our high achievers that are coming out of high school into college. Makes it very attractive. So all in all, Florida's public university system not only is great, but it's also budget friendly. And from my own personal experience, I can tell you I'm very familiar with it. I've had 3 children graduate from the higher education system here in Florida. So people do move to Florida because they want to lower their cost of living. That's their expectation, right? And although we do remain an affordable state in terms of housing, we're pretty average as to the rest of the country. Where you're really going to see the savings, though, is no state income tax, no inheritance tax. The government in our state continues to do everything in their power to try to make things as affordable for Floridians as possible. As a matter of fact, there may even be a referendum on the ballot as it relates to property tax and some relief there as well. A lot of my clients who come from high-tax states, these are the reasons they move here. I don't want everyone to have the impression that you're just going to save a lot of money when you move here. It's probably going to level out after you start spending a little bit different money on your lifestyle. A few trips to Disney could get a little bit expensive, but there's still some cost savings that we should talk about. Since I've mentioned lifestyle, let's go a little deeper into that. What does your lifestyle look like here in Orlando versus where you might be moving from? Well, sunshine, right? We have over 300 days of sunshine. Yes, we have some rain, but it's much needed to keep our area beautiful and green. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you may have heard my reference to Orlando as a clock, if you're looking at a clock face. So if you're at 12 o'clock, what's your lifestyle look like there? If you're up in Seminole County in the Longwood, Lake Mary area, it's more suburban in nature, right? Well, you've got lifestyle golf courses, a lot of family-oriented activities. But if you travel down the clock to 6 o'clock, it's going to feel very different. You're closer to Disney. You have a lot of access down there. You have a lot of exciting new things happening in the area with the theme parks and a lot of restaurant opportunities too. But you at the same time also may have a little bit more congestion and traffic in those areas. Just like some people move to Tampa for the beach, but then they don't really go to the beach. We may have people who think they're going to move to Orlando and they don't really go to the parks. But there is something for everyone here. For example, I live at the 12 o'clock area in the Longwood Lake Mary area, and the parks really aren't a part of my life, and somebody comes to visit me from out of town and really wants to go to the parks. So let's kind of circle back a little bit. We've talked about some of the reasons that people move here. Sure, maybe they want to go to Disney. Also, the lifestyle, sunshine, taxes, right? No state income tax, no inheritance tax. Also, the college university system is so strong in the state of Florida. But why else might somebody think about moving here? They may also move here for the healthcare. So, an access to healthcare may be superior to the area they've come from. Our healthcare system is not perfect, no state is, but it's certainly growing. And Advent Health has been named by U.S. News and World Report as the #1 hospital system in the state of Florida, and they are headquartered right here in Orlando. And with that comes specialty clinics, specialty doctors, and a rise in employment opportunities in the healthcare system. And I promise you, not all the specialty doctors are plastic surgeons. So I've been working with this elderly couple who are from out of state, and their doctor recommended that they find a new residence in a warm state, specifically Florida, to help them with some of their healthcare issues. And just like I helped them, I'd love to help you also. We are a real estate team here in the Orlando area. Please make sure to call, text, or email anytime so we can have a chat about your thoughts about moving to Orlando. So what does your lifestyle look like in Orlando? What is there to do when you're here, right? Let's set aside the parks. We know that exists. There are so many great things that you can do with your families on the weekends. We're here in Winter Park right now. Beautiful area, and there's a farmer's market here every single weekend. Also, twice a year, we have the Winter Park Art Festival, which is one of the premier events that Winter Park hosts as well. To the north, we have the springs. We have Kelly Springs, we have Rock Springs. Those springs stay a consistent 65 to 70 degrees all year long, no matter how hot it gets outside, so you can always get a break from the heat. And you know what? They're pretty much free. They're state-run parks. Just a word of advice, if you're going to Rock Springs, make sure you get there early. You'll want to get an early start so you can get your inner tube rented, get in line to get into the park, because on a hot summer day, they could close the park early. Because every day, they close as soon as the parking fills and the park is at capacity. And so on a hot day, obviously that's going to happen pretty quickly. So there may be some concerns, right? So what are some things that people, when they move to the Orlando area, are concerned about and want to talk to me about? Well, never ever do I have someone move to Florida and they don't ask me about alligators. Yes, we have alligators. If you see a body of water, assume there's an alligator in that pond. But this is the reality of it. You may see them sunning in the grass on a warm, sunny day, but they're not going to bother you and you're not going to bother them. What else? Maybe the weather might be of concern. Yes, we have a lot of sunshine, but it's also hot, it's humid, and it rains a lot. I've had clients move here, and in May, they're calling me because their AC drain line has clogged, so I need to walk them through how they can fix that and provide some reliable references for them. But then in October, they're calling me and asking me, is summer ever going to end? And sometimes it kind of doesn't. We might have 85-degree days in December, but the weather really does start to get nice. November through April is just perfect. What else comes up when somebody moves to Florida? Well, we can't have this conversation and not talk about insurance. That's homeowners insurance and auto insurance. We have some areas of Florida that lead the nation in the cost for auto insurance, so it's definitely something you're going to want to check out. And homeowners insurance can be a little shock to the system too. We are fortunate, though, that we do have a lot of new carriers who have come into the state, and the state also provides an insurance system as well for those last resort types of situations. And in terms of the insurance, I think I have to just share with you, it is what it is. It's ongoing. Carriers come into the state of Florida, then we may have a storm and they have a big claims payout and they may leave the state of Florida. It's just something that, as a part of your regular routine and for your financial health and your budget, something you're going to want to check out every year to make sure that you have the right fit for your insurance needs. Florida's definitely for you if you can handle the heat, if you're good with the insurance, that can be a little bit dramatic sometimes, and also if you're going to appreciate the tax benefits and the lifestyle. So if you do think Florida's for you, then I'd love to have a conversation with you. Again, reach out, hit subscribe. We've got videos coming out all the time. And along with that, I'd love to hear from you. Call me, email, or text anytime.